I recently heard a sad but instructive story. There was a homeless man in Wyoming named Thomas Gray who recently passed away. He was seen begging day in and day out. He never realized that there was something special about himself. He never realized, while homeless and begging for money, that he was a millionaire. See, he was an heir of someone in New York who had an estate worth about $300 million. Thomas Gray's share was $19 million. He never realized how rich he really was. Now, while that story is certainly unique, perhaps what is not so unique about it is a reality that we have a wealth of riches that we often go throughout life without ever accessing them. We've been going through 1 Corinthians 2 this week and repeatedly seeing a theme of Paul trying to direct the zeal of this Corinthian church away from worldly wisdom to that which is produced by the Spirit. They are in danger of making much about pennies while sitting on an inheritance. So let's read 1 Corinthians 2, verses 10 through 13, and discover the estate that they are sitting on, as well as the one we are sitting on. These are the things that God has revealed by his Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. For who knows a person's thought except their own spirit within them? In the same way, no one knows the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God. What we have received is not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, so that we may understand what God has freely given us. This is what we speak, not in words taught us by human wisdom, but in words taught us by the Spirit, explaining spiritual realities with Spirit-taught words. Now remember, the culture in Corinth had begun to enter the church, and therefore there was a great premium that was being put on appearing eloquent and well-learned, knowledgeable and sophisticated. And so this has been what some are starting to trust in for their source of success. Now, do you notice the inheritance that Paul has said that they are sitting on by revealing how they're able to tap into the wisdom of the Spirit? Now, he uses the analogy of saying that the only person that can understand their thoughts is that person, because it's their own spirit that dwells in them. In other words, I can't possibly know your thoughts because my spirit doesn't live in you. But Paul goes on to say that God has solved this seemingly impossible dilemma. He has put his Spirit within us. Therefore, we can know his mind on various issues of life. And so Paul has taken their pennies and he has written them a check for $19 million. It is so easy as Christians to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others and to seek status and sophistication in the way that others do. But Paul is telling us not to neglect the gold mine that we are sitting on. That gold mine is that we have God's Spirit within us, which enables us to know his mind and his thoughts, and to be able to elevate that above that which others claim to be wisdom. And so here's my encouragement as we close this devotion. Take some time today and meditate upon 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 10 through 13, and discover how rich you really are.